welcome to Day.Sports, a place where the average punter can get their 2 cents worth. It has been a rough weekend in the world of sports, at least for myself and other Broncos fans, and in the world of tipping as well, in my case. But didn't get around to watching as many games over the weekend that I'd like to. Was away in the sunny coast with the old man and my brother, going to a James Rain concert. So, lead singer of Aussie Crawl, for those of you who don't know. But before we get into everything as well, make sure you do like and subscribe as well. I'm pushing for 500 subscribers by the end of the season, so I'm up around 360 odd at the moment. So well on track at this point. I think we can get there, even blow straight past that. Make sure you give the socials a follow as well. So I'm going to link all those in the bio. I think TikTok just cracked 2,000 subscribers, so make sure you go give that a follow, and Instagram if you're on there as well. Plenty of content that I'll be posting all over the place. So I appreciate all the support, and I do notice you guys as well that are commenting week in, week out. I really appreciate the support, and yeah, make sure you comment as well. Let me know how your round went, what predictions you've got for the round coming up, and anything else that might be going on in your world of sport. So we'll be jumping straight into accountability for tipping of round 21. So I went 4 out of 8 on that one. Looking back on that one, yeah, some of them probably not my best picks, and some of them were just honestly sad. Yeah, like I said, we'll get to the Broncos in a minute. So up first, we had the Warriors versus Tigers. So we nailed this one. So Warriors, they win pretty comfortably, 28-16 over the West Tigers. That was, yeah, pretty much went exactly how I'd imagined. Adam Fanua-Blake and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, though, they were just running over people for fun. It was ridiculous. Like, I'd picked Adam Fanua-Blake to score as well, and it was just almost certainty. Every time he just got the ball, he was just busting through that many tackles. You just knew if he got anywhere close to the line, he was going to be going over. And Roger, he's just an absolute weapon at fullback. I still prefer Chance, I think, over him at fullback. But yeah, seeing his footwork and just him don't arguing people was definitely a highlight for me. There was one in particular on Charlie Staines where he just big broed him, just threw him into the floor. So that was a bit of a doozy, and it was so good seeing Chanel Harris-Tavita as well. Finally kicking a goal. He did miss, I think, the first 2. They were straight on the sideline, so they were not making his work easy for him at all, but he managed to slot a couple after that. I think he might have got 3 overall in the night. And yeah, it was good to see. Big smile on his face as well. He knew that he was going to eventually get one of them, and yeah, that was good to see. So that's what happened there. The next one was on Friday as well. So we had the Eels versus Storm. Storm, they beat them 32-14. Once again, kind of went down exactly how we imagined it was going to go. So Eels, they came out of the gate pretty hot, but are they really going to worry the Storm? Not really. Storm just kind of did Storm things and got things done. Meany can kick a nut, though. I don't think he missed a goal at all. He is such a good goal kicker. And Wishart, he just can't stop scoring tries as well. It's crazy. But no, they just cruise comfortably for another win. This is the one that I really don't want to talk about, but Broncos, they got touched up by the Doggies 41-16 at home to a sold-out crowd. Yeah, it was disappointing. Don't get me wrong, Doggies, they played amazing. Who knew that they had that sort of attack in them at all? Perfect footy conditions for them, and they just ran amok. Bulldogs and Connor Trace in particular, they had an absolute party. That try that they scored as well, where they bombed, let it bounce, and then it's kicked across field, and people are catching with the one hand. It was just, yeah, it was rough. Broncos, they're lacking urgency and just don't seem to be clicking the way that they can and probably should be at this stage. So that one did hurt. That one I was watching live at the pub, and yeah, that one hurt. So next game, we got this one wrong as well. So Sharkies, they go down 30-22 to the Cowboys. Cows, they have just snuck their way up the ladder. They are like 5th or something like that at the moment, maybe 6th. I swear there was a fair portion of the season that they did not look likely to be up there at all, but they've managed to do it. They're starting to pull things together as well. For sure, weakened Shark sides, but at the same time as well, weakened Cowboy side with a few of their players going down early. Ruben Cotter, I didn't see it live, but I saw plenty of clips of it. That KO where he got knocked out, that was sickening. That was a rough watch, honestly. That just reminded me of almost somebody getting like head kicked in UFC. It was the same sort of impact in the way that he went down. If anyone's ever seen Johnny Walker get knocked out light heavyweight in the UFC, he's gone down a few times like that. Just kind of the arms back, head back, eyes go back, everything's just, it was a pretty brutal hit. So yeah, obviously I hope he recovers, speedy. I hope he doesn't have too many symptoms or anything from the concussion as well, because they can really, really stick with players. Anyone that gets knocked out, that sort of brain trauma. So I hope they rest him for some time, at least, I'd say 3 weeks, honestly, if not longer if possible. Considering where they're sitting on the ladder, I would just save him for finals almost at this stage. So I think in, a lot of combat sports, so for example, like UFC or boxing or whatever it might be, if somebody gets knocked out, they have a stand-down period for like at least 45 days, and usually it's a lot longer than that as well. Obviously for NRL's sake, it's not quite as long, but should it be for those really bad ones? Because I'd say they'd be well up there, almost on par with what happened to Reece Walsh, and I don't think he should have been coming back as soon as he was either. Those are some serious, serious knocks, and obviously there's people a lot smarter than me that set these limits and everything for the players, and they go through, I'm pretty sure, plenty of testing and everything. But, especially at this time of the season and where their team is, I just don't think they need to be rushing him back at all. Kyle Feld, he scored a hattie as well, which I'm not happy about, just scarred from 2015. So that's all I've got to say about that. Roosters versus Manly. That one, we got the Roosters. They beat Manly 34-30. They nearly fell asleep as well, honestly. That would have been an absolute doozy. They did what they needed to as well, though. They smashed out plenty of early tries, but it would have been an all-time comeback if the Manly Seagulls managed to get that done. Next one, Penrith, they absolutely pump the Dragons 46-10. Somebody stop Cleary. He's on an absolute rampage, scored a hattie, ran a ridiculous amount of meters, kicked a ridiculous amount, what are you going to do, honestly? Good luck to any team coming up against them. Can Storm even beat them? Good luck. They're going to have to be on 100% to even have a chance, I think, honestly. Dolphins versus Titans. This one was a little bit disappointing. Dolphins, they go down 21-14 against Titans. I'm pretty sure it was 14-0 at halftime. So whatever spray Des gave them at halftime obviously fired Titans up something chronic, and they came out and just got it done. Bit of a rough one. And then this one, when I look back on it, I probably should have known a little bit better, but Raiders, they give it to the Rabbitohs 32-12. Should have known better. Fogs, he's an absolute machine. Kicked him to death. Yeah, they're just going great. So before I get into the tips and predictions, just a few random little sporting things or rugby league things that I wanted to have a chat about as well. So for starters, Broncos. Yeah, I believe we could lose one game before the run to the finals and the end of the season. Not the one you wanted to lose right at the start, being such big favourites at home, sold out crowd. Once again, not taking anything away from the Doggies. They played extremely well, and I'm saying it now, if we get knocked out and don't make finals, I'm jumping on the bandwagon. Doggies 2024. I love hearing from those fans, honestly. So Doggies fans, they're great. Anytime that I go with them, their fans are just all for you. But if you go against them, especially when you call them 13 plus like I did, they'll let you know. It's all fun and games, but it was very disappointing from a fan's perspective, especially where we were last year. Probably the best attacking team in the comp, best if not second best defensive team in the comp as well, and obviously about 10, 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away from winning a grand final, and in a game that we really should have won considering the margin that we had. It's a bit of a rough fallback. People talk about the Origin hangover. Obviously, we've had a lot of injuries. There's been a lot of moving parts, and obviously why the Broncos might not be going as well. But I just don't think there's really any excuse for the way that they have been playing and where we are at this stage. And this is, like I said, purely from a fan's perspective at this stage. Nobody's going to know exactly what's going on in that club unless you're inside those walls. You're the players, you're the coaches, you're the staff directly involved with it. All we can do is kind of speculate, I guess, from there. But it is quite disappointing where, we're very, I'd say, likely at this stage going to miss the finals. And, you'd almost say, do they deserve to be there if they somehow sneak it in? It's a bit of a rough one. And it's hard to know, like I said, what's kind of going on with the players there. I've heard a few people say, how traumatizing, I guess, it would be in a way for them to have bloody 9 fingers on a trophy and then miss out, last year. But that's something that surely the club can deal with as well. There's professional sporting psychology for those type of things. They can come together as a player group, whatever they need to do to get over those hurdles. But it's hard to know. Is it an issue with coaching? Players not clicking? Is something just not working there? Is it is it their work rate? Is it them not being accountable. I've even seen Gordon Tallis come out and say that, it should potentially be Renault that's losing his captaincy. I don't agree with that at all. I think he has been an absolute key to the Broncos' success over the last few years and a major part of turning it around. Obviously we've got Paddy there for when he moves on or for when he's not able to play and stuff like that. And that's a great, person to be handed the keys to the castle to. But at this point, Renault is the captain and he can lead that team. But yeah, it's going to be tough work. And it's hard to tell as well. Broncos are such a young, talented team. But you see it time and time again. Talent and hard work, they need to come together to create success. Teams that are just trying to get by. And this is in any sport, obviously, as well. If you've got all the talent in the world, there's just going to be a point where the people that are working really, really hard are the ones that are going to catch up and end up actually beating them in the long run. And, you see it just time and time again with different athletes and that, especially in footy as well, like the ones that were never selected in the rep teams, the ones that, no one really thought too much of. They stuck to it, they worked hard, and now there's some of the absolute best out there. Yeah, sure, you're going to have the ones that are, God's gift and they're just always going to have it. But, man, put them together with hard work, and that's how they become the best players in the world. That's where you get your Nathan Clearys, guys like that as well. So, yeah, it is hard. The run home isn't particularly easy either, and I honestly don't like that we have Storm last. Storm, high chance that they are just going to rest all their players, but I wouldn't be surprised, just some spiteful move if we made it all that way and we had to beat them to make it, if they just played like a full team just for shits and gigs. And purely as well, part of that is because we absolutely pumped them in the first week of finals last week, so I can see them, just wanting to knock us out and get rid of us as well, especially if we start stringing together a few wins, almost like the Knights did towards the end of last year, if we just light up and just come together. So yeah, we'll see how we go this week. Another thing that I did want to just touch on, unrelated to rugby league at all, so I'm sorry if you are listening, just wanting the rugby league stuff. I have time-stamped everything, so you can just skip forward to the parts that you are after as well. I think especially as well, once the NRL season does finish up, I will be, diving into a few other sports that I am into as well, and just kind of more general sporting topics. I've been a massive MMA fan for years and combat sport and stuff like that, so I'll probably start putting out predictions and giving my 2 cents on that as well. Cricket season, got to get into the cricket season as well. So yeah, this, I guess, depends how you define sport, but old mate that got attacked by the shark the other day, that young fella. So Kai McKenzie, 23, he was attacked by a massive great white shark the other day and managed to fight it off, surf back to the shore, and was helped by an off-duty cop, I believe it was, who managed to, stop the bleeding and stay with him and, give first aid and everything. Not long after as well, his leg washes up, they put it on ice and bring it with him to the hospital trying to reattach it. Now, I think at this stage they have said that they were unsuccessful in reattaching the leg, so obviously that's real rough for the young fella. But he seems to be in pretty good spirits as well, posting on his social media, asking everyone if there's anything missing. So yeah, clearly he's got his head screwed on right and has a positive mindset towards it all. I think he's already saying that he's definitely getting back in the water as well. And I think it was not long after he had a serious neck injury as well, which had kept him out for some time. So he was a sponsored surfer as well, so obviously had a lot going for him. Such a young dude for something that traumatic and horrible to happen to, but good on him that he's ready just to say, yep, we're going to get through it and get back out in the water. So hope his recovery goes amazing. But yeah, fucking tough. Holy. So yeah, stay safe out there, eh? So that brings us on to round 22. So my tips and predictions for this round. So up first, we got the Tigers versus the Cowboys. Now, Cowboys, they're fair favourites there. They're $1.32 favourites. Tigers are at home at Leichhardt, $3.42. Yeah, safe to say the Cows have absolutely smashed them the last few times they've played, and I'm going to take them 13+. I think it's going to go very much the same. Tigers, struggle street, things not going well, while Cowboys are starting to string things together in a serious way, pushing for the top 4 even. So, yeah, they are going to be well and truly going after it. One thing that has come up in the last week, though, is Val Holmes is going on sale. So seems he's got the tap on the shoulder saying, hey, you're welcome to look elsewhere. I guess part of that's going to be freeing up salary cap. I wouldn't say his performance is really going down the drain or anything like that. He's obviously still playing extremely well, but they're just going to be making room for some younger talent, I guess, at this stage. So probably can't afford to keep him. Be interesting where he does end up. I've had a few people talking about that he might, Roosters, they're losing a few centres. Could be a spot for him there. It could be a club like the Dragons with Flanagan over there. So I guess we'll see. But yeah, I can't imagine it'll take him too long to find a new home as well. So yeah, I think the Cowboys are going to absolutely touch up the Tigers. And I think Jeremiah Nanai is going to cross. He's an absolute machine when it comes to scoring tries. And they've got that many plays for him. So yeah, he's going to get over. Next one, we've got Warriors versus the Eels. So Warriors, they're $1.23 favourites trying to keep their season alive in 12th at the moment, while Eels, they are $4.20 underdogs sitting at 16th. I think Wars won the last time they played, Eels time before that. But they get some massive ins back this week. So we got Chance, he's coming back in. Shawnee Johnson as well, he's back. And Martin, Tiara Martin, he steps out of the side actually. So Chanel Harris-Tavita, he keeps his spot. A lot of people think that he might actually be a better combination with Shawnee, just because him and Tiara Martin, they play probably a little bit too similar where they need a lot of the ball. But I think with Shawnee, if he can take control and then have Harris-Tavita just kind of doing his own thing over on the left-hand side of the field, I think it'll be an interesting combo. But either way, I think they're going to be well more than enough to beat the Eels. Really cool thing as well that seems to have happened. So Wars, they have sold out every single home game, I believe, this season, which is a first for the NRL. So that's amazing for Rugby League in New Zealand. I love the following that they have been able to pick up over the last few years. Stay positive, Wars fans. You never know where you're going to end up. Big things on the horizon as well. Obviously, with James Fisher-Harris coming on, they seem to be starting to work things out with their halves as well. And you've still got guys like Luke Metcalf in the background as well. So plenty of options, plenty of amazing players in there as well. Leitao as well. I thought he played really well last week in the centre, so they got some positive stuff coming up. And I'm going to go back to the well on this one and say that big Adam Fanua-Blake is going to score 4 points. Now we head all the way over to WA for our next game. So we've got Dolphins, home game for them supposedly. They are sitting in 8th. They are paying $3.54 at the moment for this one, while Roosters, who are screamed into 3rd, they are $1.30 favourites, and I'm going to go 13 plus on the Roosters. Oh, and on the Wars, I think I'm going to go 1 to 12 on the Wars. Sorry about that. Yep. So Roosters 13 plus. They are just going to keep rolling at this stage. They're not going to drop out of the top 4. They're going to be way too much for the Dolphins. They get Joey Manu back as well after his broken hand, so that's going to just boost them even more, kind of like covers up any of the potential weaknesses they might have had out on the edge. As long as they don't fall asleep, they should win this one. But Uncle Wayne, he's going to have the whips absolutely cracking after they fell asleep in their last game as well and got beaten by the Titans. So it should be an interesting one over in WA. But yeah, I think at this point, the Roosters, they're going to score early tries like they did last week, and then I think they are just going to absolutely tighten the screws and just keep pumping at this stage. I don't think they're going to let up like they might have last week, and I think Joey Manu, he's going to get over the line for a 4-pointer as well. So this next game, this one scares me, not going to lie. I honestly need to start doing like a biased full GST Broncos prediction for whoever they're playing, and then my actual kind of thoughts around this one, but that can be another time. So we've got the Gold Coast Titans, they're $2.44 underdogs. Broncos are $1.56 favourites. I'm surprised Broncos are favourites, honestly. For one, we're not honestly able to play well during the daytime at all. We should have Friday night, late night games only, and we should be looked after. No, I'm only kidding with that, but yeah, it's going to be a rough one. 3 o'clock on a Saturday in the Gold Coast, and the Titans, they have been firing. And they honestly are a bogey team for us. But I'm just going to have to back my boys. But I'm going to go 1 to 12 on this one. But I'm honestly not feeling confident about it. It's always been such a tough battle with Titans. They really like to turn up for this match. They beat us 36-34 last time, and then prior to that, 18-12. They've won 4 out of their last 5. Broncos have only won 1 out of their last 5. Titans have a lot to play for as well. It's crazy to think where they were at the start of this season, that they're sitting on equal points, I believe, with the Broncos. Broncos in 13th, Titans in 14th. So things could potentially be alive for them if they're able to keep this winning streak well, or at least keep playing well over the next couple of weeks. Both of these teams really have a lot to play for. A couple of outs for the Broncos, obviously. It's a dangerous dangerous team to be up against. They got some big boys in the middle that can really challenge us, and they've got some lightning quick speed out on the edges where we just got absolutely blown apart and shredded last week. So, teams are going to see that, and they're probably going to, try to take advantage of that weakness as well, or and fucking let's hope the Broncos have managed to go through and patch it up. On the flip side of that, you've got a Broncos team that, if everything clicks, could blow them out of the water 13 plus without too much dramas at all. So we'll have to see how that all goes. It is a little bit of a sketchy game though, and yeah, like I said, Titans such a bogey team, and I'm just crossing my fingers and toes that they don't unleash Brumo back into this team as well, because he is just an absolute X-factor weapon. But yeah, Broncos, they just have to bounce back at this point and stand up in a massive way. Really put their best foot forward for the club, for their fans, for each other. They need to go hard in the paint of this one. But I am going to go with Khan Pereira to cross at any time, because I'm a little bit worried down that edge there. Next one, we've got Storm versus Dragons. Storm, they are bloody massive favourites in this one. They are paying $1.10, whilst Dragons are $7, which is just huge at this point. It is at Amy Park, so that almost guarantees a Storm win, and I'm going to go 13 plus as well. Dragons, that is a rough run for them. Fucking Penrith straight into the Storm. So, yeah, mark them down for 2 losses in a row. Storm, they're just in their stride at the moment. And they got Munster back as well, which I believe, so NRL physio, he was saying that he's getting a double hip surgery, I believe, at the end of the week. It's going to, not end of the week, end of the season, to address his groin issues, and he'll be out for about 10 weeks. So that sounds like a pretty nasty one, honestly, but they are going to be firing. One thing that I'm a little bit not concerned with, I don't think it's really going to bother them, but I think their chemistry might be a little bit odd while having Munster back for the first maybe couple of weeks until they kind of get used to it. They had Wishart in there for so long, and he did such an amazing job. They should be okay, but I'm always worried when players come back into a team that have been out. He's obviously such a mainstay. No one's going to take that position away from him. But a few seasons ago, I think it was 2021, where Storm, they had Paps out for a big portion of the season, had Nico Hines back there. And then finals time, they slotted him back in, and it just wasn't working the same. Obviously they got the luxury at this point. It's well before finals at this point. So money should be good to get everything sorted. I think, he's going to be running amok. But it does push Sua Farlonga out of the team, so Wishart is playing in the 14 position, but you can't deny the form that he's been in. I think the Mad Dog, he's going to get over the line as well and start getting back to his usual tricks. So, Now, on to the next one. We got Sharks versus Rabbitohs. Sharks, they're big favourites again, so they are at home, $1.28 favourites at Shark Park, while Rabbitohs at $3.70. Oh, they are having some serious injuries at this point as well. I think, let me have a look. I don't think... Cam Murray is back. Okay, that's a good inclusion for them, but no Mitchell. He is named in reserves, I think, at this point, and no AJ, obviously, with that Achilles injury. So hopefully he heals up, but no Trell and no AJ obviously does kind of hurt their attack a little bit. Cam Murray, massive in for them as well. Sharks, they should be able to get it done, though, but it is a weird one. It is something that I can see the Rabbitohs somehow pulling off, but they should be able to get it done. They've been able to beat the Rabbitohs in their last 2 games, though they've only won 1 out of their last 5, which is a big concerning comparison to the Rabbitohs winning 3 out of 5. But Sharks should be able to get it done. They're sitting in 4th. It's going to be really concerning if they can't beat a Rabbitohs that are in 15th at this point, though. So we'll see how that goes. I think they are going to be targeting the fill-in for AJ quite a bit, though, so I'm going to go with Sione Katoa to get over. Penrith versus Knights. Well, I think we all know how this is going to go. Penrith, huge favourites. $1.13 favourite over the Knights, paying $6.05. I'm going Penrith 13 plus. Just how else is it going to go? That's scary at the moment with the full side back, and Nathan has only played this is going to be his 3rd game back, and look at what he's doing to teams. He might score 6 tries for shits and gigs this time, honestly. I just can't see this going well for the Knights. They're losing Bradman Best as well, with that hamstring injury that he suffered against the Broncos, but I guess he's kind of been carrying for a little bit. They drop Jackson Hastings and put Phoenix Crossland in, and you've still got Tyson Gamble as well. Okay, interesting. They are playing around with their halves that much. I just don't see that going well for them. I'm going to go with big Lindsay Smith to crash over, though, in this game. Okay, what have we got next? Oh, here we go. We got Doggies versus the Raiders. We're going Doggies. I'm going Doggies 13 plus in this one. Doggies looking to break into the top 4. They're paying $1.38 while the Raiders are $3.07. Who would have thought the prophecy was going to come true? Well, it is on the way to coming true for the Doggies in 2024. If you'd told anyone this at the start of the season, you would have been told that you're absolutely crazy. Doggies, they have outperformed in every single way, to anyone. For anyone that would have thought they were going to be here. So they are just killing it at this point, and they get some massive ins this week as well. They get Critter back in and Josh Adokar. Oh, that is a naughty left edge and just brings some extra oomph back into their attack. And geez, look at the way they attacked last week, and then you bring 2 of these weapons in as well. They are going to be an absolute handful. Yeah, the only concern that I'd really have in this game, honestly, would be Jamal Fogarty's kicking game. He, can very well kick a team to death, but, you got Matty Burton on the other side. So those back 3 for Canberra, good luck taking on the Burton bombs that is going to be coming your way. Yeah, that's going to be a bit of a doozy there. Now, on to my tip of the week. So this one is going to be a little bit of feed your family for under $10 because it is going to give you a whole lot of value for some big boys to get over. So I want to focus on the big whoppers this week because I've been going with a lot of backs, and this is who I've got this week. So I'm going with Adam Fanua Blake to cross over because he is just a monster. You get him anywhere near close to the line and he's going to be carrying about 5 blokes with him to get over. So he's going to get over anytime. Like I said, Lindsay Smith, he's going to barrel over as well.